sanitizers.
Welcome back to Goo for Science. Today we're going to give you a checklist on figuring out your hand sanitizers. The best tool that you have is the label, and so we're going to give you a checklist for what should be on the label. The first thing is the medicinal ingredients, which should be ethanol, glycerol, and hydrogen peroxide. The ethanol should be between 70 and 80%. Anything less, and you've got a germ swimming pool. Anything more, and the ethanol is evaporating faster than it can work. Glycerol helps moisturize your skin, but also helps to keep the ethanol on your skin long enough for it to work. And hydrogen peroxide is also a good sanitizing ingredient, but you only need a very little amount of it, 0.125%, and not, as we've seen on some labels, 1.25%. There are two really important pieces of information that should be on the label. The first one is the drug identification number or natural product number. This is the licensing number issued by Health Canada. And this number should match what's in the Health Canada approved hand sanitizers database. We have found that it doesn't always, and that some companies have been trying to squeeze through their hand sanitizer product on an illegitimate registration number. And the other important piece of information is the lot number, which in the case of a recall is how you identify whether or not your product has been a problem. On your label, you should also see an expiry date, and it should also be clear that this is a hand hygiene product and not a food product or any other kind of product, especially if the packaging is a food container. Earlier in the year, there was a shortage of containers, and so people started using food containers, and perhaps still are, to package their hand sanitizers. In general, hand sanitizers should come with directions for use and warning labels. Directions for use should include things like you should be supervising your children if the children are going to be using hand sanitizers. There should be warning labels, like an effective hand sanitizer will be flammable, and also should have warnings against ingestion. You are dealing with a product that is used in food, but when you have ethanol in food, it's at 40%, and when you have it in hand sanitizer, it's well over 60%. Over 60% will be flammable, and also will have a different toxicity than your standard spirits. Now, in the last video, we talked about technical grade ethanol, and with the approval and licensing of these ingredients, the distributors and hand sanitizer manufacturers are required to include additional information on the labels in addition to what we've just talked about. There should be a notice that the product is not for use by people who are breastfeeding and pregnant or children. It should not be used on broken skin because that changes the exposure of the body to whatever impurities are in that technical grade ethanol. There should be a phone number and directions to call that if you experience any problems with this product, then you can call that number. The consumers are playing a really big role in regulation for these products right now because there are so many, and many of them are produced or distributed by local groups that really mean well, but may not be very familiar with chemical safety and handling. So here's the contact for Health Canada to participate in the regulation process if you want to. And you can use this checklist if you like to keep an eye and inform yourself for the consumer products that you're using. Thank you so much for watching Goo for Science. Next time, we'll do some work with some berries.